Hello, hello. Good evening, good morning. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Today, I have a conversation with one of our clients in BBA program, Brand Builders Academy. His name is Nico, and he transitioned from uh, IT, right? He's an IT professional getting into e-commerce, and today we'll talk about his story. We'll talk about the major lessons he's learned on this journey so far to benefit you guys. And if you have any questions for him, please drop them in the chat so that Nico can answer them for you. Oh, Nico just joined me. Hey, Nico.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Good, my man. You have the setup like a pilot, with
Yes.
those things.
Of
Good stuff, my man. Thank you for joining me today.
course. Always a pleasure.
Awesome, cool. So yeah, why don't you give like us a background about your story? I know you had a very interesting journey, like moving to United States, and just getting into like different industries, getting into IT. So yeah, if you can give us a background about where you started your journey and how it goes so far.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Mexico, and my parents moved us here in '99 when I was 11. The whole time they always wanted to have a better life for us, and so growing up, I was I was good. I was going to school, did all the good stuff, and then towards the end when I got into college, it just didn't really pan out. Um, Then there for a little while, I just started working in the service industry. So I did the service industry for a few years, and then went into school, met my wife, got into IT in 2015, and so I'd been doing IT since 2015. So I'm going on, yeah, a good while now. What's that? 9 years. And just from working from small companies to where I'm at now. It seems like the right move is just to kind of work for myself. You kind of get to see everything, and I really feel like I'm not I'm not the happiest working for someone else. And
Hmm.
so I saw your stuff a long time ago, like a couple years ago, and I feel like I talked to someone a couple years ago, and I wasn't really too interested into it. And then I just kept seeing your emails coming in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. Um, but I was like, all right, let's do it. So then I talked to Christian, and then joined back in April. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster just because back in November I tried to do this on my own with help. I tried to get some help from someone else, but it was just like one guy that was like, hey, I can help you build a store. Here's some stuff. Spent a bunch of money, wasted a bunch of money. And then coming into this, like I can see the big difference on the in the mentorship. Like you guys help, and it's not just like a one-off thing. It's like we have weekly calls, and then you have the chat where you can talk to people that are going through the same struggles. If you've already ran into something, someone else has probably ran into it like a month ago, and so they're able to help and all that. Um, so it definitely has been a pretty interesting journey. I don't know. I don't know what else to bring in there. Just don't mind the mess. This is my current situation, raw, unedited. Just trying to get where I want to be, and not forget where I'm coming from. So
Gotcha, my man. So what's like the what was motivating kind of like point for you too? Because in IT you can make good money, right, as a
hmm
professional. Like, so what was motivating for you? Like, besides money, obviously in e-commerce, like the potential is a lot greater, like in terms of money
hmm
making opportunity. But besides that, like, what kind of inspired you to look into this direction and start your own business?
well, I mean, so I've always had friends that always did their own thing, and they're really successful. I don't see them working for someone else. I always see them working for themselves. And also growing up, my parents, they're immigrants, right? So they're really into the rules and following the rules. And I can see following the rules and all of that getting you to a specific place. But if you want to get to the real American dream, you really have to put in a lot more work. And sometimes you have to maybe do something different to be able to get where you want to be. And so, me working for this big corporations and how they operate, how they treat people, I mean, sometimes it's not the best. And so that alone has kind of motivated me to just kind of get away from that industry and just kind of do something for myself so I can be better for myself and my kids. I mean, my wife just had our third baby boy, and so that's even more motivation in and of itself, right? To be able to provide for them. I don't want to be one of those dads that's like, oh, I have a bunch of kids and I can't feed them or do this or that. I want my kids to be happy, and I want to be there for them. I want spend time with them. And so working 9 to 5, you hardly get to see them, you hardly get to do anything with them, and that's not fun. So what's the point, right?
Yeah, such a good point. So just like time freedom,
Hmm.
location freedom, besides just like making money, right? Which is, one of the things that obviously is super important. But it's also, the other aspects of this where you can decide like how you work, where you work, when you work, being able to segment the time,
Hmm.
cut the commute time. Like, a lot of people working in in jobs where they have to commute like for 1 hour. I know many people like 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour each way, right? Like to their
Hmm.
office, for example. It's like 2 hours per day, just like gone, right? And
Yep.
so instead of spending that time with their families, instead of doing something that they enjoy, they just spending that time, in the car, like just getting to work
Hmm.
and out.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I know a couple people that commute a couple hours. They live an hour away. They'll sit in traffic for an hour, and so that's already to get to work. It's 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. And if you have little kids, I mean, you wake up, they're still sleeping, and then you're gone all day. And then by the time you get back, they're going to bed by 7, 8 o'clock when you're barely getting home. And so you just don't get to see them till the weekend. And it's just, it doesn't make sense. And it sucks. I feel bad for people that have to do that, but I mean, I'm trying to maybe if I can get there, I can maybe help others when I hire them
Yeah,
on and be able to do stuff for the company.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, being like a good role model, like inspire some
Hmm.
people. So when it comes, and this is something, just also like on this point, a lot of people don't reflect on this. They kind of like, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's like 2 hours each day commuting, yeah, working in a job that I don't necessarily enjoy. Yeah, it's okay. When I retire, I'll have, more freedom, like in 40 years, hopefully, but it's like
You're already
kind of like,
70 years old.
yeah, it's like, it's like projecting. I think projecting that and just kind of like reflecting, okay,
Hmm.
where you are right now, whether that will, first of all, if that's like even like short term, whether that gives you like what you want, like in terms of the freedom and like being
Hmm.
able to do the things that you want to do, but also long term, like, okay, if you stay in the job that doesn't fulfill you, like you don't see much growth in that, in that role, then, like if you continue doing the same thing for 20 years, I mean, it's not likely, anything is going to change. And so just kind of like reflecting on that because I was when I was working on the factory, like that's what I was like thinking. Okay, so like if I do this, because there was one lady, she was I think in her 40s, and she would
Okay.
say like, yeah, I don't like this, but it's okay, I don't like this job. But then, when I'm like 60, I'll be traveling and I'll be like, I'll
Oh
be doing
man.
things that it's like it's in like 20 years from now. Like you don't even know, like I mean, we don't know like if we live like until tomorrow, right? Like it's life is short,
Hmm.
so short. And kind of like just delaying that process where it's like, if you get into the business, obviously there's many factors, right, to make the business
Hmm.
work. You have to dedicate
Right.
time, effort, energy, money. But
Hmm.
if you crack it, if you make it work, I mean, that can like in 5-10 years, projecting that, like that can change your life completely. And
Oh.
I'm just like, I want people listening in to just like reflect on that. Like if something that they do right now will actually lead them to the outcomes that they want long term with their life. Because like if not, then probably you have to change something, probably you have to try a different path.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, looking at the socioeconomic status of the world, I mean, here in the U.S., Social Security is not going to be a thing here within 10, 20 years. At least I don't see it happening. There's so much spending going on in Congress that it just it's not feasible. I mean, they're saying it's not feasible. They're trying to make changes. We're going through some huge turmoil, and it's not just the U.S. It's everyone, right? The whole world. Who knows what's going to happen here tomorrow, or what's going to happen come November, or heck January, or um but yeah, I mean, I want to build something, and I want to leave it for my family. I want them to be just be financially stable and just be ready, because the world's
Mhm.
crazy. It's a crazy place. And like you said, to go back to just feeling like I've been feeling like I've been stuck the past 4 years, because
Mm.
I haven't really done a whole lot. I've been in the same role for the past 4 years. I've been trying to move over, do a couple different things, but it hasn't really panned out. And so that kind of really pushed me towards to just go ahead and do something else, do something different, do something for myself. Like, I don't want other people to dictate what my future is supposed to be or what I want it to
Mm.
be. Just because I know I have the power, we all have the free will to do whatever we want, right? And so yeah, I know if we just put in the work, put in the effort, we can get where we want to be. So like for example, I have my two kiddos, and I've been working on this stuff from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Like you'll find me in chat at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to help people out. Like, uh, and I tell them, it's worth it, and you guys help a lot, and it's been easy. It's been easier than the first go around. And so I
Mm.
know that at the end of this, you know, when it happens, slowly, I'm not trying to rush anything either. Like, I know it's not an overnight thing. That's never really a thing. Nothing's ever free, right? Like everyone says, oh, you can get free this, free that, free this, free that. And someone's always paying for it.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I know with time, effort, perseverance, I'll get there. And so it's just a matter of time. Just keep working, keep pushing. So
For sure, my man. Where are you based in the United States?
I'm in Texas.
Texas.
Hmm.
Nice. You enjoying it?
It's kind of warm right now. It was 96 yesterday, but it felt like 109. So, and
Miami is the same. It's so humid here. Oh,
yeah, I mean, I was looking at the news, and they're talking about how the UK is going through a heat, like a heat wave, and it's like 80,
oh, no
79.
shit. Good for
Yeah.
them.
I was like, I wish.
Man. So like since you got into e-commerce, I think when people are getting into e-commerce, and specifically, I mean, doing these transitions, right? Like, I mean, I did this transition. I mean, everyone
Mhm.
starts at some point, unless like your family was like entrepreneurs, or like you just like, yeah, you never worked a job, right? And you just like instantly start a business, like at the age of like 18. We have some of those
Yeah.
individuals in our community, which is awesome. But it's like for most people, it's a transition from like like 9 to 5 job, most likely, right? Like where they're working,
Mhm.
but they want to transition, like you said, like for yourself. You want to build a business that you run, that you control. Like no one tells you what to do. You control
Mhm.
your own like outcomes. So did you have like any hesitations, like for example, it's like, is that even like real? Like, is that like a scam or something? Is e-commerce like, you know what I mean? Like all of these kind of like
Mhm.
conceptions, and there's people making like videos, and like if you go on forums, like if you go on forums, like if you go on Reddit, it's like pretty much everything's that. Like there's no e-commerce, like
Yeah.
it doesn't fucking exist. At the same time, it's
Yeah.
like $1 trillion industry. But
Yeah.
people kind of don't reflect on that. So what was your thought process? Like, did you have any like skepticism before getting into it? Like, did you kind of like, what was on your mind?
Yeah, no, I mean, so like everyone, right? You see ads for drop shipping or this or that. So you go look into it. So you go to YouTube, and then if you go to YouTube, that's like almost you can find good info in YouTube, but you can also find really bad info in YouTube. Like there's all these people that are always like, "Oh yeah, I made 100K a day. It's been 2 weeks. Oh, look at me. I spent 30,000 in ads, made $800,000 in like a month." And so just seeing stuff like that, it's always, in your mind, you're just like, there's no way. Like, there's no way.
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay, sure, maybe one in like 100, or maybe one in like 1,000. They may get lucky and just find the right product at the right time. Facebook, targets the right people, and then boom, you really blow up. Sure, it could happen, but to see that constantly one video after another, it's like no way. And so that was the biggest thing for me. Like I was so hesitant, and I was just like, there's no way. And then just over time, I started finding the real people that did
Mm,
struggle, that were like, follow me. This is my journey. This is day one. This is what I'm doing. This is what he's doing. And then I started following several people that were actually almost doing the same things, but in different places. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe. And then I found this community, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is kind of like what I was thinking that should be happening, where person A talks to person B, going through the same journey. This guy made a mistake here, told that guy about it. That guy doesn't make the mistake, so then he helps him out, and it's just everyone just pushing each other and pursuing the same thing. And that's really what really drove me to you guys, just that community, really. But before that, yeah, everyone's saying that they can make 100 grand a day in like a couple weeks was like the biggest thing, like the worst thing. Like, sure, it's clickbaity, and sure they'll get the views from YouTube, and I think that's mainly like that may be the one thing that they do that for, just to get paid for from YouTube, right? Because they get all the views, people click into it and look at it and yada yada. But I don't
mm,
think it goes any farther than that, unless they're like really really eager and just have a bunch of money to blow, then maybe. But yeah, that was the biggest thing. Just didn't seem legitimate or like feasible. So.
mm. And when you were joining BBA, like, did you have like any like hesitations? Kind of like what was kind of like, okay, now like I believe that this is possible. Now I want to join. Like, what was some of those things for you?
Like after joining, what really kind of centered it for me was,
Before you joined Brand Builders Academy.
oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, so I was watching some of your stuff, and I was watching some of the testimonies from the other guys, and I mean, I don't, they don't look like paid actors to me. I'm not a paid actor, and so I could see that, these are real people. It's real things. It's happening. And like I said, it's really all about the community. I just really love the community that you guys have going on, and you really help. And so that was really the one thing that I was like, okay, maybe this is legit. And then your marketing really did help a lot too. Just seeing your emails coming in, and I was just like, okay, maybe it's a sign. Maybe I should try it. Maybe I'll give it a go. I mean, at
Mm.
first I was kind of, sketch, because we were about to have our third baby,
Oh,
and
wow.
then I was just like, should I spend all this money? Should I? It's an investment, but then we're gonna be behind a little bit, and then this and that. And then I talked to my wife about it, and she was like, it may just be it. So let's just do it. And so she's like, okay. And so, happy wife, happy life, and here we are, full
Man.
force, 100%. So yeah.
Man, I mean, it's like, so we work together with my wife, and it's like, I think it's so important to have like the person that's close to you. Like, if you have like a
Hmm.
partner, um, that believes in you,
Hmm.
and like, because some of those, like, I'm remembering some of my first decisions, like, oh, I want to buy this like mentorship program. I want to pay like, $10,000 for like few calls with this guy,
Hmm.
and back then, like, I didn't have much money, and my wife was like supporting me in those decisions. And if not for those decisions, like, I wouldn't be able to do like what I did, or maybe I would have, but it would have taken like months or years more than it would have taken. So I think having someone in your circle who supports you, like, some of
Hmm.
those decisions are risky, but so as is, like going to like college. Like, we have some kids on our team, like, they go to college, like University of San Diego, like 50 or $70,000 a year, like
Hmm.
4 or 5 years, whatever that is, like you coming out with like $200,000 like worth of like student debt.
Hmm.
Like, it's like, isn't that risky? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, driving on the highway is risky, right? So, but yeah, no, I totally see that point of view too. I mean, I went to community college. I didn't
Yeah.
get out of there with a whole lot of debt. I did end up getting my bachelor's through online school. And that's one of the things that I'm still paying off.
Uh-huh.
But look at all the people that are having to pay back all those student loans.
Yeah.
Everyone's defaulting, and then here's the federal government trying to help them out. I mean, which is fine, right? Like if you got out and you weren't able to find anything, like I work with a bunch of people that have a bunch of bachelor degrees and they're not working in their field. And
Wow.
so I don't think, yeah, college is good for some things, but not for everything. I think that if you go to college and you're just kind of going to go and you don't really have an end goal, it doesn't really help. But if you have a good skill that you can push towards the real world and make that into something, then just go that route. Like I'm not gonna force my kids to go to college. If they want to go to college, if they want to get a degree, perfectly fine. If they want to go be something else, do something with their life, fine. That's fine. If they're
Mm.
successful at it, if they're really good at it, hey, even better. It'll make you money. You'll enjoy it on the side. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, at least that's the way I see it. But yeah, it's risky. It's a lot of money, and the interest on that stuff is what's just drowning people. People are sitting there. The interest is way more than what the monthly payment is, and it's just
Really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
it's just killing. Yeah, that's how people end up with a ton of debt. They'll take like $100,000 loan, but the interest and them paying the minimum bumps that up to like 150 or like 200. Like yeah,
Wow.
it's really bad. It's a big yeah, it's a big old scam. I don't like it. Yeah.
Man, and it's like, like just overall on that as well, it's like the world is changing, right? Like literally in front
hmm
of our eyes, all the
Yep.
technologies, all of the things that are like even like as you build your business, you're probably
hmm
using some like AI like to help you write, copy. Like
hmm
AI can generate like images. Like there's many things that you can use in that journey. And the standard educational system, like it's simply not catching up enough. Like it's like impossible for them to like upload all of the new curriculum like every year, like as all of this stuff changing, because usually they're very slow. And it's like the only way to make it work is like, I mean, I understand, doctors, like engineers. I mean, you want those people to
hmm
go and like get education. Like you don't want to drive on
Right.
the bridge that like someone like been through 3 months training program like created. But like, for most roles, like in business, it's like even like how many people from Harvard, like the kind of Harvard, right? Harvard, like how
hmm
many of those people are making good money? There's obviously some outliers. There's some billionaires that
hmm
coming out of it, but then the majority of them like are not. Like I mean, we constantly hiring. We're getting these like people that are applying that had Wharton, Harvard, all of these like fancy degrees, and it's like, like they probably, I mean, probably they know something, but it's not something that like you cannot learn by yourself. Like I
hmm
think the self-education kind of like being just like very, like as you said, like being very focused what you want to learn, and then finding the most efficient way to learn that subject in the right
hmm
community, in the right environment is the future. Like, because you don't want to be spending like 5 years learning something that you can learn like in 6 months.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things I learned when I was going to online school. They allow you to look at the curriculum, but you can also test out of it. Like if you already know the stuff, you can just take a test. Oh, you actually know this stuff. Okay, move on. Go to the next. Instead of having to go to class every single day and listen to the same mundane stuff every single day. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. I remember I learned like biology and chemistry, like, and physics in school, and like I've never seen an application for this. Like, I mean, do I want to know how the plant grows? Like, okay, it grows like, whatever the process of growing the plant. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know, but it's like, can I apply it anywhere? Unless I'm a biologist, Um, so what I'm leading to is like people like should be more like specific, like in terms of the skills that they want to learn that will actually contribute them on their life journey, not just like randomly accumulating information, right, that
hmm
might not be like applicable anywhere, and identifying that one thing that they want to like if they want to do e-commerce, fine, find the best community, for e-commerce, find the best way. If they want to learn, I don't know, like other skills like video editing, like even programming, right? Like find the best way, the most efficient way to learn that skill, get you into the role where you can start making money also as quickly as possible. But it's like being efficient with their time and being strategic with their time and intention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Because otherwise, then you're just wasting time, right? Like I said, I've been feeling stagnant for the last 4 years, and it feels like a waste of time, literally. So, I mean, yeah, mentally, I'm already ready to go. So,
What are the biggest, so since you joined BBA, like you've tested some products, right? Some of them kind of had some success, some of them didn't. So what were your biggest learnings so far, like in terms of like the product selection?
I mean, just problem solving. Like before, I was looking at things that I was like, oh, I could use that. If I could use it, Joe, Bob, Billy, Bob could also use it. But that's not the case. You're not catering to people like you or yourself. You're catering to everyone else, right? You're trying to solve people's problems. Um, and that was one of the biggest things. I mean, my very first test, it did well and it had good momentum, but then it didn't quite get there. Second, third tests, I had really bad CPMs, like 100 to like 150, 150 to 200. And it wasn't even in the beauty niche. And so something happened there. And so there's been some troubleshooting that I had to do. But yeah, other than Facebook just kind of being wonky and me not catering to myself or people like me, then yeah, I mean that's been the biggest. Everything else, because I did, like I said, I started this back in November and I joined BBA in April, so I did a good 6 months worth of just kind of investing in myself and kind of trying to do it on my own. Again, from looking at YouTube gurus that making 100K a day or whatever. Um, but yeah, that was the biggest thing. Just really, you're really trying to help people. That's really the biggest thing. You're whether you think of it or not in that way, you're just helping people with their problems. And the more people you can help, the better off you are. So
Yeah. And on that, like, so for example, in our e-commerce business, like we are selling mostly to women that are like 45 plus, right?
mhm,
I'm a man, like I have no I have no idea, right? I can't even like, I don't face the same problems that they face, right? So
mhm,
like in order for me to sell to those people, I have to go and do the research, like on
mhm,
what their problems exactly are, how they're talking about their problems,
mhm,
the language that they use, like all of those things. Like and that's not something like you said. And I mean, overall, like selling to men is more difficult than selling to women. It's proven, like it's it's selling to men is a lot harder,
yeah,
because
that's
men, like, they
impulsive,
usually,
right?
yeah, they're like, I already, I just talked to some of my team members. They're like, have you tried this like new deodorant? It's like, nah, I mean, I've been using mine for the last like 10 years. Like, why would I why would I try the new one? So the man kind of like, they once you get them, right, you can keep them for a long time, but it's hard
Mhm,
to get them in the first place. And selling, I mean, women, I think control like 70% or something, like I think it's statistic, like 70% of something of household finances. They control like
mhm,
major purchasing decisions. And so it's a lot better to sell to women, pretty much. But if you're not, yeah, if you're not, like, if you're a man and you're selling to women, for instance, like you have no idea what their problems are, and like you have to do some research and digging to
mhm,
understand how other products are selling similar products, what language they're using, what marketing they're using, what ads they're
mhm,
using, what landing pages they're using, what like pain points they're talking about. And so all of those things are important, like when selling the product. That's also was one of my like big realizations that I've struggled this, because like, oh, I like the same as you. It's like, oh, I like
yeah,
this product, I think people will like it too. And then we would just go ahead. We would sometimes spend money on the inventory, and then like, oh, product doesn't sell. Oh, surprise, surprise.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. See, that's another thing too. So back when I initially tried to do eCom, I bought a bunch of inventory, so I have, I think it's about $10,000 worth of inventory
Oh,
just sitting here.
wow.
And
That's
yeah, and
crazy.
I've talked to my coach, Bukumi's my coach, and so he's like, let's get you going first, and then we can look at that other stuff, and then we can try and sell it, so you can get rid of that inventory and just not have to worry about it. But yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, okay, cool, let me get all this inventory, I'm gonna sell it, target all this, do all that. Nada.
Yeah. Because, so
So,
people talking like, drop shipping overall is like, it's kind of like, oh, drop shipping, like, kind of like people are, it's like, it had a bad reputation because some people like just don't care about like user experience. But as a
mhm.
validation model for your business, I think it's phenomenal, right? Because you can
It,
validate products without like investing a lot of money up front.
mhm,
And that's something like you said, like buying inventory and then expecting that it sells, or the way that people do it with Amazon. Like people that want to sell on Amazon, they have to buy that inventory up front before they
yeah.
even know that the product will actually sell. They have to rank on Amazon, they have to compete with all of the established sellers on Amazon, right? And so
Mhm,
like there's so many factors before like you can actually move the product. With a drop shipping model, you can validate it, and you can
mhm,
always improve the customer experience. Like you can have branded packaging, you can improve the shipping times, you can
mhm.
improve the quality of the product itself, you can send the product to 3PL once you have the momentum to ship it even faster. But it's kind of like first things first, right? It's kind of like prioritizing what's actually important. What's important is like, do people actually want this product, or it's just kind of an assumption, right? That it's not proven yet,
Right.
and I have to prove it first.
Yeah, or is it just me, right?
Yeah, yeah. What kind of product? If that's what you have
Oh,
ten
it,
thousand.
it was a jewelry. It was a jewelry shop. It was like anxiety rings, like the little bead rings, so people would stop picking at their fingers.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah. And so, like, yeah, I had worked with a guy that was like, yeah, this is it's great, it's good. I was like, okay, cool. Um, and he helped me set up the store. He helped me hook up with some suppliers. Got the inventory, made all the image ads. I mean, at the end of it all, I spent it was about $7,000 in ads. And then we only had about 80 sales, so we only got about $2,000 back.
Oh, wow.
Um, and yeah, so at that point too, I was just like, this ain't working out. I should probably try and do something else because this isn't it. And so that was another one of the reasons why I joined BBA because it, yeah, I just needed something different that wasn't just me and another person, me and another guy. Because he was there when I emailed him. He was active. He would reply back, but it was never a one-on-one. It was never a call. There was never anything like that, like what you guys have. And so it was always just delayed interactions. And time is money, and I can't do one thing today and wait for it and change it, a week from now because it's not gonna work. And
Mm.
so yeah.
We have
Yeah.
we have some clients in our community that are selling jewelry, so maybe I'll introduce you to them. Maybe you can like potential, right? Sell
Sure.
your inventory to them, like even like at cost, right? Just to kind of like break even on that.
Yeah.
So man, this is interesting, interesting journey you had. So what do you think about like e-commerce in general? Do you think it's like too saturated? Like, is it like kind of like what you have seen so far?
No, I mean, it's saturated in the fact that when someone finds a product, everyone wants to sell it because everyone wants a piece of it. But there's a million other products that can help a million other people out that you can just work with and be fine. There's so much money out there. It's ridiculous. I mean, I listen to this show on the radio, and every once in a while someone calls in and they're like, "Hey," they're looking for financial advice,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Hey, my
Is
name
that is
is,
that, that
so
Dave
and so."
Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a couple times where like 18-year-olds are calling in and they're like, "Should I move out of my parents' house?" And he's like asking them, "How much money do you have?" He's like, "Well, I have like $300,000 in the bank and I do
Oh.
e-commerce." And he's like, "I don't know if I should leave my parents' house or do this or that." And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait, 18 years old? you have $300,000 in the bank. Do your parents know? He's like, no, I've been doing this. I tried it and it really took off, and it's just keeps growing and it's going. And in my head, I'm just like, man, what the heck? And so, I mean, you hear it, right? So like the more you look into it, it's kind of like one of those things where you like if you keep thinking about it, you start seeing it.
Uh-huh.
And so, I mean, like Dave Ramsey, like the kid shows up, and like it's been a couple times where he's had a couple kids on there, and they're just like, got all this money. I don't know what I need to do with it. Like what? And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, e-commerce is there. I mean, the pandemic also proved that people aren't going to stores. Brick and mortar is going down. Like people aren't going out. All the malls are falling apart now because they're
Yeah.
abandoned. And so, yeah, there's no Amazon is buying drones to ship stuff directly to your house. Like they want you to step outside your house and that's it. They don't want you to go to the store and pick it up. Like everything's so convenient. And like you said, technology is only getting better and better. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, honestly, we could live out in the hills and then just have a drone drop off our groceries. Like that would actually be the dream, really, for me. Like I want to buy like 20 acres of land and just live out there in the boonies, you know, whatever, and just
You
kind of
you
be.
want to have horses?
What's that?
Would you have horses if you had like big piece of land?
I wouldn't do horses. I would mainly do just cattle,
Uh-huh.
goats, and then just chickens, just things that I can easily kill and eat, when it's time to be able to live off the land.
Yeah, we just came back from Switzerland, and it's like they have this like the alpine like just so beautiful,
That
like
place is
green
beautiful.
grass, the
Hmm.
cows are like walking around like like I want to have a farm here, I would live here. um
That's on the bucket list. I want to take my wife to Switzerland. We wanna visit because before we had our kids, we went to Australia, New Zealand,
oh wow,
and those places were beautiful. We've been to Italy, Hawaii, but yeah, we want to go back to Europe and go visit, go over there and look some more. It'd
for
be fun.
sure. So okay, so in terms of the product like selection, you've learned that it's all about the problem of other people and the pains that you can solve for them.
Hmm.
Anything like in regards to like price points, like you've noticed, okay, so I want to choose products to sell that are like, let's say, I don't know, some minimum price point, or any kind of like learnings on that side.
Yeah, I mean, so through the course, you learn that anything around the 40, $50 mark, people can impulse buy. They'll be like, oh, okay, $40.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, $50. That's fine. Quality could be okay. When you start spending, I feel like when you start spending like 80, 90, $100, $120, you gotta have a couple things, which is quality, and you gotta have speedy shipping times. Because I don't think you would want to buy
Hmm.
something that's 100 something dollars, $200, and then it gets here in 2, 3 weeks, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, through the journey, I mean, you just see what people really, and it's crazy, the psychology of just the human mind and how everyone operates. Like we're all so alike. We all think we're so different, but we're all so alike, and it's crazy. And that's one of the things that people don't realize. Like you can really find this one persona and then just target that persona, and then you can catch a lot of fish with it. And so, but yeah, 40, $50 is like the golden, and then you can do like to increase the AOV a little bit, right? You can do like free things and that, and they're just like, oh, free stuff. Okay, for an extra what, $5, $10, and then all that adds up. And so it's yeah, I would say that's a thing. Oh, I think we lost them. I think we lost them. Hmm. Hey guys, yeah. Uh, I guess he'll be back, but I mainly just use Facebook ads library. I don't use Mania or anything like that. I think the Facebook ads library is more than enough, really. If you uh, if you really just look through it, you'll see what's really selling, and that's mainly what you want to look at. Just because when we're testing products, we want to make sure that what we are gonna test, it's either already selling and it's not too oversaturated with a bunch of people already trying to sell it. Um, and so if you find a product, you find it in ads library. Oh,
Oh, Nico, sorry, I I lost you for a few minutes because my internet was some reason bugging. Can you
nah,
hear
it's
me
okay.
okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I missed last few minutes, but your connection was.
Oh, yeah, I lost them again. Is it just me? Can you guys still see him in chat? Yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys have any other questions, we can wait and see if Alex reconnects. Fair enough. Fair enough. What do I look for that's specific in the ads? Just that it's problem solving. You don't want to just look at some toy that some kid's gonna play with, you know. You want to look at something that people will perceive value in. So for example, like my very first test was a vibrating foot roller that could help people with their sciatica pain or their knee pain. Oh, hey,
Oh, my man, I'm sorry. My internet is like crazy today. I don't know. Sorry about that.
no worries. That's the Florida infrastructure for you.
Yeah.
Every year getting tore up by hurricanes.
Yeah. And like we're like literally in I think it's the best area of Miami, and
Hmm.
it's like and we're paying for the best internet. Like, so I don't know. So we're so dependent on technology these days.
Oh man, yeah, you have no idea. I actually lost power for about a week, and everyone in town was going crazy. Like gas stations were full at like midnight, people trying to get gas. And I even told my wife, I was like, "Oh my goodness, if our infrastructure gets hit, we're not gonna make it." Like as a society, we're not ready for it.
Oh yeah, such a good point. Such a good. Oh, can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I think yeah. I had like so everything that you've learned so far in BBA, and like this is just like beginning of the journey. So do you feel like it's something that you could have like figured out on your own?
Eventually, with a lot of time, I think, because don't let me do something more than like 3, 4 times, because I'll remember it and then I'll get really good at it. Um, because that's what happened with me. Like in IT, like I came in and I came in just as an intern, and
Uh-huh.
then they let me stay, and then they hired me on. Within 2 years, I was already a systems administrator. I was
Uh-huh.
already
Wow.
going up. And so, but yeah, I think with time, and maybe if I got lucky and found just the right person that was just sharing their entire journey, probably, but not as quickly. Yeah, I mean, probably like a year or two, like you said, but not this quickly. Like Bukumi helps me out so much. That dude knows
Mm,
so much. And I really appreciate that. And I mean, I appreciate the friendship too. Is he's not just my coach. He's like a friend now. Like I consider him a friend just because we talk about everything, not just you know, no, just not this. It's everything. Like how are you doing? How am I doing? How are
yeah.
things going? It's yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy you mentioned that because like so this last weekend we had this client like in our ESS program. His name is Villain. Like we first he first joined the program maybe like I don't know 4 years ago. Like was like a hobby for me. I was helping some people out, and he joined. And since then, he was doing I don't know maybe like $50,000 a month, like something like very low,
Mhm.
and or even less than that. He was doing like $10,000 a month, like or 10 or 16. He just told me this last weekend, and since then, we've been in touch. Like he was part of ESS. He was just like he would just ask me like five very specific questions like once a month. He would send me an email and I would respond to him, and he's the type of guy that just like would go straight to the execution. He would just like close in his bedroom, and like he would just get to work.
Nice.
He's 2 years after he joined, so he scaled the business to about like 700,000 per month. He sold that business for like $3 million cash, which is nice.
Mhm.
And now he's building another business. And this business, like I mean, so far this year, he's done like $1.2 million profit just this
Nice.
year. And but beyond that, just business numbers and everything, it's like we just became friends. And so I went to him because he had a birthday this last weekend,
Mhm.
and I went to his birthday, and it's like, and now my son's birthday is soon, so he's coming to my son's birthday, and it's like, like you said, it's not just like, oh, it's like I'm paying like to just like get it results. Obviously, that's important part of the process, but also
Mhm.
it's like, how do you like find like-minded good people that you can stay in touch for years and you can be friends. And yeah, pretty much like my best friends are from our community. Like, it's like, and that's like, it's like they're not like some of them are not even like in the SS, not even in the community. We still stay in touch. I'm in their part of the world. We go meet up. They're here in the United States. We come meet up. We go for dinners. We have fun, and it's just developing these relationships. If I have a problem, I just reach out to them. Okay, do you know any solution for this? If they have problem, okay, do you know anyone? I do the introductions and everything to help them
Yeah.
out. And it's like that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not like transactional kind of, what I mean. If because
Mhm.
I'm thinking about this like long term. How do we like just cultivate the best community possible of like-minded people? Some of the people in our community, they become partners. We have this client in ESS. His name is Topi. He joined. When he joined like ESS, he was doing $60,000 per month.
Nice.
Last month he did 2 million, and and he found the partner, the partner that he's working with, like they run business together. He found him in our community. You know,
Nice.
so it's like, yeah, I think that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Just kind of being in a community where you feel supported, where you find some close, friends that you can help each other out, push each other, like to, call each other out if necessary. It's like, hey, you promised me you would do this. Why it's not done?
Yeah, I mean, celebrate the little wins, and
Yeah,
let them know when when they're doing something not supposed to. So no, I
yeah,
agree. Yeah, holding people accountable is like the biggest thing, because you can always, like I said, we all have free will, right? We all have choices we can make, and you can always choose to step away and not do it. But then you can always have that friend or that one person that always holds you accountable, and they're always like, "Hey, how's that going?" Okay, cool. So yeah, no, I agree. The community is a big thing.
my man. I'm very very. Thank you for your trust. Joining our
Sure.
program, and it's it. I like to see these journeys. Like I love observing these journeys. I love to see the evolutions of people, and I wish you to, next stop, like we do another interview when you're at 100K per month. That's like,
Okay.
that's a minimum. That's a minimum. and I know for sure, like I think we have quite a few people in BBA that was IT backgrounds. I don't know if you
Mhm.
met, like, I think I meet also he transitioned from, like, I did an interview with him like a few weeks ago on my YouTube channel, like you can check it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
He was like in Silicon Valley. He was making good money. He was making
Mm.
like 250 a year, like in IT
Oh, right.
role.
Mhm.
And he started with his business. He implements. He moves fast. He joined in May. A few days ago, he updated. He's doing $5,000 a day now with his business. So it's like,
Nice.
yeah, it's like, I think you guys, like in IT, like you have kind of like the ability to think about things as like in the process, or like connect the dots, right? Like how this
Mhm.
one thing correlates with another, like the same way you would like build like a server infrastructure,
Right.
like
Yeah.
with different or systems, right? It's so with that, I think you'll be at the 100K a month in no time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? And yeah, I mean I'd love to meet you in person. Like I'd love to come down to Florida, bring my wife with me, leave all the kiddos here with the grandparents. So that would also be great.
For sure, my
Um,
man. We're here in Miami, our office is open,
mhm.
so come on in anytime.
Cool.
Awesome. So one last thing. I'll just ask you this. So, knowing what you know now, like if you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing regarding starting your own business, because you've been thinking about that for a long time, what
Mhm.
would that be?
Do it. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, just do it, man. Like you're gonna struggle. But you gotta get up. You gotta push through it. Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing I would tell myself is just do it. Because like I said, I have friends that started their own businesses and they're successful at it, but I just never made the move. And so yeah, it's the hesitation. It's
Mm,
the it's the it's just your mental uh, just your mentality period is what keeps you where you're at and doesn't let you push forward and move forward to where you want to be. Because you can always say, I'm not that good at it, or no, it's just not me, or oh yeah, no, yeah, I knew he could do it, yeah, because he's a smart guy.
yeah.
But it's always your mentality 100%. So I think it was just me telling myself like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, but what if I'm not good at it? You know, it, yeah, just do it. That's literally it. Just
Mm.
just
And, and you will figure it out along the way, right?
oh,
Like,
for sure.
as long as you're looking for answers, there's always
Mhm.
answers. There's always solutions for every problem that we
Yep.
face.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes, right? Because then you keep making the same mistake over and over again, and then you don't move forward. You're stagnant. You're stuck. You don't go anywhere. So
For sure, my man. Thank you so much for joining me, Nico.
sure.
Tremendous conversation. Just like, lifted me up for the whole day. You just literally made my day. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing you at 100K a month. If you're in Miami, like, please let me know, so we meet in person as well. And yeah, wish you all the best on your journey, building the life that you want for yourself, for your family. And yeah, let's keep building.
For sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my man.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, bye bye.